will be no arrangement, and you're killing her.
Well, if there can be no arrangement, then we are at an impasse.
I'm afraid so. I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes?
Morons.
Really?
Welcome to Moron's Mince Movies. I am your host, Moron Sam Munoz, and I'm here with my fellow morons, Lester Peñalosa II, and Mr. Akam, Don't Shoot Me Down, Arturo. Which has nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about our top 10 of the year 2010. The decade of the year 2010.
The third episode.
Yes, we're finally finishing it up.
The
and I'm
Return
sure
of the King, if you will.
Noel is, yeah.
The Return of the King, if you will.
Or the Return of the Jedi, you know.
Or the Return of the Jedi.
Or, you know,
also.
just part 3.
Or just part 3.
Yeah. I'm sure Noel is happy that we're finally finishing this up because our previous episodes on this topic, which was the top 10 of the 90s and the top 10 of the zeros, lasted over an hour and a half each.
Yeah, man. Apparently, we like our movies.
Yeah. So, in this third part, we're going to try our best to keep it maybe at an hour and 20. I think that should be the goal. Hour and 20?
See, man. Yeah.
Hour and 20?
We'll try.
All right.
We'll try.
How was this for you guys in terms of like now that this is our third episode? Has it been easier? Has it been harder to create?
I'm glad
these
you
lists?
asked.
Yes. Yeah.
Very quick for me because as I was going through all the list, I was like, shit, I did not watch a lot of movies. A, nor did I watch a lot of good movies. B, and the ones that I did watch, like I did see some like noteworthy ones. Mm-hmm. I only watched them the one time, and I never went back to see like your True Grits, your
okay.
Ooh, that's
these
a good one.
movies that were like at the time critically acclaimed. I watched it, I appreciated it, I critically acclaimed it, and then I never went back to it. So as I was going through this list, I was like, "Fuck!" A lot of these don't really like stand out. So for me, it was
Tough.
It was tough for different reasons.
I have to say, having gone through these lists now, I realize how much time, the test of time, plays a part. Because the 90s list was very easy for me. Like I just had my movies.
Same? No, it wasn't.
Was the 90s one? Yeah.
You kept going back and forth. Is it subjective? Is it objective? I don't know, guys.
You're right. Sorry, I was thinking about the 2000s.
Yeah, so the 90s was very easy.
Rookie of the year ended up on it.
Yeah.
Easy choice.
Terrible. Anyways, the zeros were a little bit harder. I had like my top 5 was like really ingrained, but the bottom 5 was like, oh, okay, there's more of a, back and forth. This one, I swear to God, man, if you ask me again, maybe, in a couple of days, my entire top 10 might be switched around. Yeah. And like, I had like 5 or 6 different movies at number 1 at one point, and I kept like, no, like that can't be number 1. Like, no. So this was really tough for me, and I would say that I couldn't finish it. I'm not happy with like I don't feel like I can stand by my top. It's not that because
this isn't a hill you would die on.
Yeah, like it's not because these 10 don't belong in the top 10. I think the 10 do belong in the top 10. It's just that I don't know where they would be. Like it's just
a lot of hand movements.
Yeah, and they're. Anyways, so let's get to it. Unless
I'm gonna talk about my piece too. Asshole.
Yeah, go for it.
Jesus.
Sorry. I mean, nobody cares if I.
No, this has been the hardest list for me to really finalize. In terms of the ones we've already done, I told you both this separately off camera. At some point, my top 10 was entirely comic book movies.
Yeah, and I can see that. As I was going through the list, I was like,
so many came out within this past decade, and a lot of them have gotten so much better. But then I was like, should I just remove them all and do a separate list? I'm like, no, I have to be true to myself too, because these are movies I generally love, and I feel like they do belong on there. So there's a handful of comic book movies in there. But yeah, this was the hardest list for me to do so far. I was still fucking with it today, and
yeah, we were all fucking with it.
Let's
get going. Let's get going because we're already 4 minutes in.
Do you guys want to discuss what you're drinking?
Oh yeah, so yeah, go sure.
So this is a Punkachino.
Punkachino.
Yes, a coffee pumpkin ale from Elysian. The Elysian Pumpkin Pack. I get it every fucking year during the fall season.
Nice.
And it's so delicious. Stouts, imperial ales, pumpkin ales.
Nice.
Delicious.
Do you have any more of those?
No.
Oh, you bastard. Well, I'm drinking a fucking Big Wave Golden Ale by Kona Brewing back in Hawaii. And,
what I'm drinking.
everybody knows what the fuck
Everybody
Uba's
knows what I'm
drinking. Let's get this going. Noel, I told him he has to be super, super strict on the fucking hourglass. So he's got the hourglass. It's a 2-minute timer. If that thing ends, you're done, all right? You got to move on and whatnot. So last time, for the 90s, we started with Arturo. For the zeros, we started with me. And this time, we're going to start out with Ule.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I don't think my number 10 is a bad choice. It's probably not on your guys' list, but for me, it was Skyfall. With
Skyfall.
Oh,
The James Bond movie?
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
James Bond movie.
very good choice.
Because
Interesting.
out of all of those James Bond movies that came out with Daniel Craig,
Yeah.
I think Skyfall, which had Javier Bardem in it,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of major changes, that storyline, the cinematography in that movie, fucking beautiful. I still like to just scroll through my phone and look at the stills of some of the scenes like that right there where his eyes are lit up with the shadow and he's
Mm-hmm.
pointing a gun. I mean, everything about this movie I really enjoyed. I'm going to be quick with my movies because I
You don't remember them.
No, if I think too much about it, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, fuck, maybe this shouldn't have been my 10. Maybe I could have put this at a number 8 or maybe. Come on, you're laughing, but you also are not happy with your list. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. It had to be on my list, and I give it to Skyfall, number 10.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
I just want to say, since we have some more time in there, it's directed by Sam Mendes, who also directed American Beauty,
Oh,
which was
well,
in
there
my
you go.
top 10 of the 90s. Yeah.
Did you watch this? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I'm not a James Bond fan. I didn't. I just.
Well, you're wrong.
I have issues at the beginning of the movie. What happens with James Bond at the beginning of the movie
Where he
is
gets
like,
shot accidentally?
and then he falls from the bridge, and we're supposed to believe that he just survives this and mends
Apparently you
himself.
have a big
Bond,
thing against
bro.
people getting shot and falling.
Well, if they
feel like
fall from
people
a
can
long
never
from
survive
from a height, yes. If you get shot and then you fall from like, I don't know how many feet
Yes.
away from the bridge was.
I guess there's a sense of disbelief that you have to be okay
suspension
with.
of
Look,
disbelief.
there's certain things, but yeah, but this is supposed to be a bit more realistic, James.
Have you
Bond.
seen the way the man wears a tuxedo?
Look,
that says everything.
It's fine. It's not. I didn't think it was.
When
it was-
I think Javier Bardem's performance in this is probably one of his best as
Javier
far as the
Bardem is
movies
great.
goes.
he's
I
he's
mean,
always
No Country
a win.
for Old Men.
No,
come
I didn't
on.
say his best. I said
Pirates
one
of the
his
Caribbean,
best.
I'd say.
Wrap it up.
What? Oh, wrap it up. All right.
I didn't hear that. I didn't see that one. Was he
Is,
in that
is,
one?
it, is it over? Is it
Which
over?
one? The
Oh, you were
fit-
just
the
saying the
fit-
timer.
Oh, wrap it up.
Oh,
Arturo, you're
Oh,
next.
my number 10. All right, so again, this is insanely difficult, but this is still my number 10, and I stand by it. And that is 2010's Inception.
Oh my
That's your number
God.
10.
Yes, directed by
Damn.
Christopher Nolan.
I'm interested
This
in your
movie
top.
really, thank you, really fucked with me in the best way. I was completely engaged throughout the entire movie. I just remember being in awe of the way it was shot. So much practical effects within, like putting people in the hamster wheel basically and making everything flip upside down. So many things that were like created just to get destroyed. The concept of the story, how much it sticks with you. The ending is kind of what you make it in a sense. The performances, my God, such a star-studded cast. Tom Hardy, Leonardo DiCaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ellen Page, Michael Caine. We were
Just
talking about
retired
accents.
from acting, by the
Oh,
way.
I heard, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Joseph
Cillian
Gordon-Levitt.
Murphy, Ken Watanabe. There were so many people. Marion Cotillard. There were so many
It's
people.
Cotillard.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
Bless you. That were in this movie. And it was fuck,
Yeah.
man. It was so good. It was so good.
I agree, man. Fucking classic.
A dream within a dream. There was just, I mean, and it spawned so many memes.
It's yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, just a testament to its
it
cultural
made its mark.
impact. Oh, 100%.
Pop culture.
So many films that have done stuff similar. I mean, the whole bending of the world around you is Inception. Like,
Yep.
everything after is just.
The visual effects. There's so many good things about this. But that we may, who knows? Maybe it might be talked
It
about.
might be in my.
mentions.
We might not be done with this dream.
Yeah. Let's move on. Since
All right.
All right.
I just want to say before I start, I do want to say one honorable mention because it was in my top 10 and then
I
it
see
kept
it.
which was Birdman.
Same.
Birdman. I'm sorry,
yeah.
Michael Keaton.
Somebody-
I have to say it because I know I won't be able to at the end. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
run through them
It
all.
was really good.
But anyways, my number 10 is Joker.
Ooh.
That's your number 10.
From 2019.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just think that this movie is pretty fucking genius. It's just it has. When it first came out, I liked it, and as I've seen it over, it's just grown on me more and more, and I've grown to just appreciate more and more, not just like Joaquin Phoenix's performance, but what this movie is to the superhero genre in general, and how it basically transcended the genre, and it's just a unique movie in a sense of what it's trying to do. And I know that there's a lot of influence from Scorsese's films like Taxi Driver and King of Comedy and stuff like that, but I mean, it's its own thing. I think Todd Phillips did a great job with this movie, and it's just a movie that I've watched over and over again, and I haven't gotten tired of it. And I like movies that destroy me. This is a movie that kind of thing in a different way, though it wasn't like it made me cry or anything like that, but the tragedy of the character, and you know what he means, not just within this movie, but within the whole just the whole Joker mythos.
Yeah, mythos.
The whole Joker
I
mythos.
just used
and
that
what it
word.
is.
Yes.
What did you say?
I just the Joker mythos.
No,
Oh, I didn't hear
Right.
you.
Just
I
kept talking.
apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
Thank
you.
you.
I
Thank
didn't hear you. No, yeah. The whole
Apology
Joker
accepted.
mythos and what it does for it. If you guys don't know, there's only been 2 characters in cinema history that have won Oscars twice, and that is Vito Corleone and Joker. And so Joker is up there with Vito, and I think deservedly so, man. I love this movie. Great movie.
I might be talking about it later on. Really, so I have nothing to say about this particular film at this time. Is it on me for number 9?
Yeah.
So for number 9, I just added it because I didn't realize that it came out in this time, because my research was a little bit shoddy because of they told me about this like
it was
last
10
minute.
minutes ago.
Literally, they told me about it last minute that we were doing this, so I
Talk about this for
No, we
weeks.
didn't have time to prepare. But it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice.
That's my number 9. It had to be in my top 10. I didn't want to put it too
Tarantino.
high up there, but as far as
Fuck yeah.
just cinema goes, I don't even know what it is about this movie that I like. Like, I know
just
there
a
have been
cool
people,
movie, man.
It is.
there have been people who
cool.
talk about like, man, there's every fucking 2 minutes there's the scene of them driving, and I'm fine with that. Like, I enjoy that feeling of watching them just cruising down Sunset Boulevard, and they're on their way to really do nothing. That's not. Oh yeah, like that. I see that and I'm like, yeah, this fucking seems awesome, man. I would
What
enjoy
a
that.
picture. What a picture.
Brad Pitt in it. I mean that I think that guy's fucking cool.
Yeah. He's
I don't know what
Won the
else to
Oscar
say.
for this.
If you want to call it a man
I
crush,
wouldn't
that's
say. I
fine.
feel like it's not the word you were looking for.
Like
he's
yeah, man. He
he's
just
dreamy for sure.
yeah, he does.
I would have many sex with him.
He's like a cool Lebowski
Many
because I
sex.
see him just kind of go with the flow, you know? Like I see him as like a cool Lebowski. He's a cool dude because
He's
I
just
don't
fucking
see him.
cool,
He's
man.
just cool.
It's
without even
unexplainable.
trying.
It's
Without even trying.
unexplainable.
And then I like how they added like the aspects of what's her face?
Sharon Tate.
Sharon
Yes.
Tate and
Also-
that alternate universe of what could have happened had Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt been hanging out in the mansion next door to Sharon Tate's that fateful night. So that mixture of like kind of historical shit, but also just like other Quentin Tarantino films with Inglourious Bastards, and I really like that touch about this movie.
Yeah.
So that's my number 9.
I 100% agree with you. It's a great movie. It was in my honorable mentions, my 99 honorable mention. Again, I did
Nice.
another top 100.
Shit. Okay.
And yeah, this is a movie. I think we have a little bit of time. This is a movie that when I first saw it, I was like, this might not be Tarantino's best, and I was like, but then it really grew on me. Another movie that just grew on me that I just ended up loving. But
I like the behind the scenes of movie making, like because that's something that obviously we're into movies, so it fascinates us, the how things are made and what happens.
The little
behind
girl,
the scenes.
the little girl, she's
yes, when they're just sitting on the chairs, hanging out, and their interaction and the cut scenes and how he brings it and how he delivers his lines and he's happy with themselves. That scene, that 5-second scene where he's in his trailer and he's like fucking hating himself for fucking up.
Yes.
Hey, remember that?
You fucking
and he's like, I'm
piece of
fucking
shit.
done
You're a
drinking.
piece of
I'm
shit.
fucking done drinking. This is why. And he throws it. And like
then
the
he
next
takes it
scene, he's like, again.
You know which one's cool?
Yeah.
When you move on.
Oh, nice.
He's gotta be
I
rude
like
about it.
I
I like that part
Tick.
too.
I like Arturo.
All right. No, I completely agree.
Thank you.
I love that movie. Let's see. My number 10 here. No, sorry. My
Oh,
number
number 10.
9.
Number
Going
9.
backwards.
I think we all saw it. Yes. It's 2017's Split.
Split.
Oh, I never saw it.
Okay. Yeah. M. Night
man.
Shyamalan.
Yeah, that's the one.
I had a feeling you had it, and I really want to watch it with you. I feel like you'd really
That's fine. You
appreciate
can spoil it.
This
I'll forget about
is an intense, awesome psychological thriller horror. That film that's bigger than just itself. And James McAvoy and all the characters he portrays. So he has dissociative identity disorder.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I mean, he's always been a magnificent actor, but I mean, the level he brought it in this is just completely unreal. It was my first introduction to Anya Taylor-Joy, who's been phenomenal in this and in everything that she has done since. This is one of the best twists in Shyamalan history, in my opinion. I don't want to give it away because you haven't seen it. And I remember just being on the edge of my seat for this movie in a completely unreal way. Like literally, I yelled when the twist happened. But even before we started getting there, I was incredibly uncomfortable. I didn't know where things were heading, and it's just the story unveiled itself in such a unique and awesome way, and you're just like "fuck" the whole time.
I think I remember the twist was that the guy from Unbreakable shows up, right?
No, that's that they can.
That's the other
it's
one.
part of the. It's
Is
that,
it part
that's
of the
like
Unbreakable verse?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's all I need.
Whoa,
That's all
did
I
you
remember.
have to ruin it for him?
No, look again. I'll forget about it. I'll forget about it, and I'll.
But that's not the twist, though.
That is the twist that it already takes. Like
That's not the twist.
It's the twist because up until now, whole thing is rooted in reality, and then we see him do when he becomes the Beast, and we're seeing him do supernatural, super crazy shit that doesn't belong in this world anymore. When it ties into the Unbreakable story, that's when we realize it's in this world set with superheroes.
Right. So I already saw. Okay, so it's not a spoiler because I would have remembered that. Just like I remembered it now, I would have been like, wait a minute, isn't this in the Unbreakable verse? Yeah, sorry, I interrupted. But yeah, I know that part.
Put
I'll
a
forget about
spoiler alert at the bottom of this thing.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just based on what I know, I can see why you chose this as your number 9.
Yeah, no, this film's fucking awesome.
All right. I'm going to go on to my number 9, and I'm going to say it is Jojo Rabbit.
That movie came out in 2010.
Also from 2019. So
Damn
far,
it.
only 2019 movies for me.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit. Directed by Taika Waititi. I love this sort of comedy.
Yeah.
That is just like super witty
ridiculous.
and clever, and also like on the edge of. I mean, the way you have to give
Yep.
like this. So this
Yep.
movie won the Oscar for like best adapted screenplay. It was adapted from a book that is nothing like this. By the
Really?
way, no,
What?
yeah. Like it, like the premise of it is similar. You know, you have a kid who's a Hitler Youth. Whatever, and it follows the kid's life and everything like that. But he takes it in a whole other direction, and it's supposed to be a drama. The book is very dramatic. It's not a comedy at all. And so he adapted it and turned it into this comedy that
great.
is both
It's great.
like incredibly hilarious and
Yeah.
also sweet
Yep.
and also
tragic.
And there's so many emotions going on in
gets
this
heavy.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many emotions going on. I love movies that are able to give me these conflicting emotions at the
Yes.
same time.
Yep.
Where you're sort of laughing and you're pissed and you're sort of sad at the same time.
So you love Thor: Love and Thunder?
No, that didn't do it for me at all. That was not. That was
That was the same emotion for the most of
That
the
was
movie.
just bad. That was just the bad jokes. The problem with that was bad jokes. But Taika Waititi, who also plays Hitler in this
Yes,
movie,
yes. And
he's
what
an
a great
imaginary Hitler.
Yeah, what a great Hitler
because he's
he
the little
plays.
kid's imaginary. And
And the fact that he's Jewish, it makes it even funnier.
is Taika Waititi Jewish?
I think he is.
I don't know if he's Jewish.
Look it up. He's in Hollywood. I don't know.
He's from New Zealand. Well,
Oh, that's true. He is
I don't
from
think
New
he's
Zealand.
Jewish.
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's more like
Aborigine.
Aborigine.
Which
indigenous.
I remember him hearing about, like, what would piss them off even most if I played Hitler. So
Yes,
he did.
that's why I remember it. I thought it was that because I remember him saying that.
He wasn't going to play Hitler,
No.
but the thing is that nobody wanted to play Hitler.
And he's like, who best? Me.
So I guess I gotta do it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he did.
I highly recommend this movie to anybody who like loves like these, pretty edgy comedies. It's just, and also Scarlett Johansson is in this, who's really great.
That scene with her though.
Yeah, and don't spoil it, please. No
I
spoilers.
didn't say
no
anything. I
spoilers.
just said her scene.
Okay, so we can't spoil your movies.
Hey, that was fucking Uble. I didn't do
That's
anything.
true. That's true.
All right,
So this is
Ruble, what's
the
your
one who
number
said-
8?
Huh?
What's your number 8?
Oh, my number.
That
Alright,
was
my
so
time is
immediate,
over.
yeah.
God damn it. That was
Yep.
Jojo Rabbit, great. Jojo Rabbit.
So my number 8 is another Joaquin Phoenix film that happened to be in the 2010s. Yes, that is Her. I saw
in
this
my honorable
movie.
mentions.
I'm glad it's on your honorable mentions because I remember, again, one of those movies that I remember seeing at the time, not going back to watch it again. But even the fact that I haven't gone back to watch it again, it just something about his character in this film and the universe that he lives in, which is they don't focus too much on it, but he lives in this obviously somewhat advanced futuristic world where something like this kind of technology exists. And then the different things that he interacts with throughout the movie that, again, they don't focus on, but it's just there. That kind of gave me that sense of like, this can plausibly be some future that everyone lives in, which is already kind of happening out there with...
It's already there, yeah, with the AI that our phones already
our
have.
AI. No, and there's people
It's
out there
only
that
been
like,
10 years later.
and is that what it says?
That's right, 2013.
That's what I'm referring
It came
to.
out in 2013.
yeah,
10 years
it came out in
ago.
2013,
Yeah,
yeah.
now we're basically there.
And
We're
we're
basically
almost
there.
there,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, you can put a Chat GPT inside of a fucking anime pillow, and it's the same concept.
I know. I mean, he's
It's-
using a
it's what it
phone
is.
type thing. It's
Yeah.
basically a phone. It's similar
But
to
yeah,
what we
he puts
have.
it in his AirPod, and he's just talking to
Yep.
her.
Yeah.
and it's Scarlett Johansson's voice, which I think just adds to how
More
awesome
Scarlet.
that-
This is
This is another Scarlett. Scarlett and Joaquin had
Yeah.
the 2010s for us.
Yeah. This is a great movie. Also, Spike Jonze, a great director.
Yeah.
He did Being John Malkovich adaptation, which was
Yeah,
in the
so
top
down in
10.
your top
Yeah,
2000s.
great movie, man.
Oh yeah,
that's
I
a
really
good
enjoyed
pick.
this one. Yep.
Love it. It also says even it talks. I mean, AI is a topic of it, but also like love is in there as well. Like
Yep.
what love
That
entails.
longing for someone
Yeah,
to be able
even
to
if
just talk to.
it doesn't have to be another human being. It just
Nope.
yep.
Just to be able to talk to someone, and I think that's probably what connected the most, is that this was, 3 years after me and my now wife had started going out. So it was a lot of that, like, this
That's
is
cool.
awesome. This is, all right. We got to work on
love
those
it. I love
transitions,
it,
man.
Noel.
But yeah,
I
this is
love it.
adding to it.
This is good. This is good. Yeah.
All right.
Brutal. Just,
Number
just
8.
get in there.
My number 8 is my first foreign film to hit one of my lists.
What?
Yes, and that is 2016's Train to Busan.
Oh, you've talked about this. I have not seen
Oh
this
my
yet.
God!
seen it either.
This is a
zombie
South
movie,
Korean zombie movie,
Yeah.
and in my
Oh, shit.
personal opinion, the best zombie film I've ever seen.
Ever.
This film is another. As you can tell, I love being on the edge of my seat. But this film puts you on the edge of your seat, man. So essentially, what happens, without giving too much away, there's a zombie outbreak that happens while people are on this super fast train that's heading to Busan. But then it's like what happens when part of the train gets infected and then you're trying to move from car to car. But then there's a really huge emotional story between the father and his daughter. And as a parent, I'm a sucker for that. Even before becoming a parent, I love those kind
Always
of
a
stories.
sucker.
Yes. I mean, it just pulls on your heartstrings, man. Like this film really, really does, despite being incredibly terrifying.
that.
And
Oh,
if
fuck
you
that.
know anything about South Korean
Yep.
zombies and horror, like they fucking bring it.
Nice.
And it's the way they do it. It's so intense. They move, they're running, they're breaking themselves. Like it's just incredibly badass.
Oh, you
I
just
highly encourage this movie to anyone who wants to be on the edge of their seats.
Dude.
I think I'm gonna watch it.
But
Man.
You
Where
know,
can I
this
find
is
it?
this might
fucking
be the trick. I want to watch Trick or Treat, but this is another one that from your list, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna actually.
Yeah,
watch
no,
this.
we-
Yeah, where can I
please,
find this?
let's
Is
have a
this-
screening party.
Is this on Disney Plus?
It was on.
No.
It was on
Yeah,
Netflix
definitely
for
a
a
Disney
while.
movie.
I think it's on Tubi right now.
Tubi, I don't know what that is. I probably
free.
just had to download it illegally.
No, it's
anyway,
It's free.
yeah, I'll still download it illegally. Just to like,
Son of a bitch.
stick it up to that.
no,
Tubi.
actually, I would love to watch this together. So let's do that.
All right, I'm down. Put it on the
That'd be
list.
great. All right.
Someone-
All right. Number 8 for me is 2019's Marriage Story.
Damn, Scarlet. Scarlet
Scarlett
Johansson.
again. Returns.
Dang, I haven't seen this one, but I've seen this one.
This
clip
time
of
with
it, and I'm
Kylo
like,
Ren.
Yeah, Kylo Ren.
You haven't seen Marriage Story?
Huh? Yeah,
I
never
haven't seen it, but I saw that one scene where it's between Kylo and Scarlett, and they're having that heated argument.
Yeah.
And I
It's
was like,
fantastic. Yeah, directed by
Incredible.
Noah Baumbach, who also co-wrote Barbie with Greta Gerwig. Yeah. So yeah, this movie hit me pretty hard when I first watched it. I watched it with my wife, and it was like it was like we were seeing ourselves and how we fight sometimes. But
I thought you were like, oh, Kylo Ren. Yeah, Adam Driver looks like me. Look at that.
I know. I am
Like
nowhere
looking in the
near
mirror.
as tall. Nowhere near as tall. My wife, she's a good Scarlett. I
Scarlett
think.
Johansson.
Anyways, anyways,
Oh, you got some brown on your nose.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways, yes, this movie is probably one of the like best written movies I've seen in a while. Just the acting is top notch. It's just the acting between Scarlett and Adam Driver is just amazing, man. It's like the whole, and it's just a lot of talking in the entire movie, but you're just in it from the beginning. You're into this relationship and like what it means to each of them, and you're kind of on one side at one point, then you jump over to the other side. You're like, no, she's wrong. Like, no, he's wrong. Like, no, they're both wrong. Like, no, they could have fixed this whole thing. If they just would have said the damn list from the beginning. And it's just it's a very emotional movie. It's one of those movies that destroyed me. Like, I watched it with my wife, and we were both like sobbing and we started talking about our relationship, and we talked,
awesome,
and it's just it's a
Any
great
movie
movie
that can
for
do that.
and a great movie for anybody who's ever been married,
So there's a long
even if you
list.
haven't been divorced.
Yeah.
And it's also really funny, by the way. It's really, really funny. Lots of funny moments. It's not just like all drama. A lot of comedy in here, so you're not just gonna be like seeing people yell at each other all the time.
Okay.
There's comedic relief, and it's
For sure,
really
Mia would
good
love this.
throughout the whole time. Thumbs up. On to you. Uble.
I have to watch it.
You haven't seen it? Oh man,
no.
you gotta watch it.
I
It's
know-
on Netflix.
for sure. Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
actually a
perfect.
Netflix production.
For
so.
sure, Mia would
Also,
love it.
download it illegally.
All right,
God.
yeah, I'm still gonna download it legally. I have Netflix for free, and I'm still gonna download it legally.
Son of a
All right,
bitch.
so my number 7 is somewhat of a sharp turn from my past three. My past three, you could say, have been
Rookie of the Year Part 2.
yeah, a night in Keynote Court. No, my number 7 is Men in Black 3. So I like to
What
close
the
the circle.
fuck?
Exactly. I know you would. I like how you are like, what do you mean? That's a great movie. Of course it would be in your top 10. And I like how
Men in
Sam's
Black
reaction is like,
3?
what the fuck are you doing with that as your top 3?
Can
Okay.
we get the tomato meter on this one?
Yeah, please bring it
Jesus,
up.
for fuck's
Bring it up.
Who gives a shit, Sam?
Oh shit! Here comes Arturo.
Oh, no.
Arturo. It's
Fuck
okay.
you.
It's okay. Hey, I don't mind it, man. Bring up the fucking score. I don't give a shit if that score is a 1 tomato.
You like this movie?
or a half a cherry.
I actually don't remember watching it.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
man.
it's incredibly forgettable.
No, it's
I just
not.
remember there was time travel.
Time
Jesus
travel
Christ,
And
Uble.
Time travel.
Brolin
Aliens.
is the young version,
67.
and that's it.
Yeah.
67.
67. That's not
67%.
68. I
That
see
was
a
better than
6.8
Godzilla,
up there.
I
Yeah.
guess.
See?
Hey, that's a superior movie right there.
Look, I'm not. I'll be the first to say that I get it. This isn't one of those like it's up for Oscar nominations. It's fucking a popcorn movie that It's one of my guilty pleasures. I really like the time travel aspect of it. I like I liked how they did Men in Black in the '60s. It's a lighthearted, fun movie, and I'm fucking down for it. So. That's my number 7. Do what you will with it. I don't give a shit.
All
I don't give a
right.
shit. I
You
like
know.
it. I'm aware that it's not. I'm not trying to lie here. I'm not trying to come
Noah
at
is
you and be
taking
like,
off his headphones.
Yeah, he's done listening to this. I'm not trying to come
Can
to
I get
this.
another one, Noah? I need another beer to wash the
swallow my
bad
stomach.
taste of my
Hey,
mouth.
I
that
have a
just
guilty pleasure. That was my guilty pleasure. It's the only one on my top 10. So,
All right.
That's totally fine. Totally fine.
so there you go. And for the sake
Go
of
for it,
making
Arturo.
this a
So,
less than
good for you, Uble, for putting something like
No,
that on your
absolutely,
list.
man.
Yeah, man, definitely.
shit.
Yeah.
God damn it, Arturo.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, the list is subjective, Sam.
Of course it is.
Trust me,
So
I fought hard.
And
I
you
have
should-
seconds. I fought hard
That's
to
cheating.
not include other mediocre time travel movies in my top because there was a few other ones where I was like, it's time travel, but no, I can't. There's other ones that deserve the spot, so I didn't put them in.
Men in Black 3. Out of all the fucking time travel movies,
It's
Men
a
in
good
Black
time
3.
travel movie, damn it!
Jesus.
All
Oh, shit.
right.
Like it didn't help that it was Men in Black. Men in Black was on my top 10 for my.
I feel like I
2000s.
can name off the top of my
So-
head like 3 of these top time travel movies that are better than that one.
Go for it.
Well, there's. I don't want to mess
Oh,
up my.
shit, I guess
don't
you
want to
can't
mess
name
up
them off
my.
the top of your head.
I can. It's just I realize that one of them might be.
Okay, I
in
think
the-
my 20
Oh,
seconds are
interesting.
officially
Anyways,
done.
yeah,
Alright.
go.
Arturo, go.
Well, my number 7 has nothing to do with time travel, although the story is told non-linear. Linear?
No, you
Not
nailed
linear.
that.
Thank
Nailed
you.
that.
But do they go
fuck?
back in time?
Nailed it. Go. Yeah.
That is 2016's Deadpool.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. I was like,
I
that's for
fucking love this movie so much.
Yeah.
It is a very rare instance where a studio just ends up giving up and just lets the creative people do their creative thing. Because the fan wants it. But then it was exactly what happened, and you ended up having one of the most faithful comic book movies ever to its character, and that character is one of the most violent and raunchy motherfuckers that have ever existed on the comic book pages. I mean, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I mean, it's one of the most perfect castings ever of all time. We got a taste of it in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Don't remind me.
Right? But everything about this, and with the crazy, I mean, and it's stylized so well. The action is top notch. The humor is fucking hilarious. It works within the world of Deadpool with also being grounded in a way, and yet it's all wrapped around a love story.
Yeah.
It is all just about a guy and his girl, who's played by Miranda Baccarin. She's fucking awesome. Yeah. And my wife Maya gets a lot of comparisons to her. Here's a side by side of. I will send that to Noel. No, I mean, well, and on top of that, that's actually why this movie even adds more like of a love for me, because it reminds me of my wife, and we love it and we watch it together a lot. But I mean, this movie can also be viewed as a Christmas movie. There's a scene that takes place during Christmas. That's a bigger argument. But the action in this, the storyline, I mean, the fact that he got to introduce some X-Men characters.
Yeah.
Colossus was done so well.
Yeah, much better in this.
Like, 100%. And I mean, still respect out to Daniel Cudmore for what he did. But I mean, the version that they were allowed to do in this was just so much more. It just worked. And yeah, man, I fucking love this movie so much, man.
Deadpool, yeah.
I
like
so one thing I will say about this movie, is I love the fact that it all came about because of that video that Ryan
leaked.
Oh,
yeah. Or somehow was leaked accidentally.
I was one of the people that contributed to the massive sharing of that video, because anybody that I knew, I would send it to them.
So in 2010, for those who may not know, there was a clip released that somehow came out, and it wasn't even fully real. It was like really CGI'd. It was like a really high definition concept.
They used it in the movie
clip, and they recreated it into the movie.
That's cool.
And it was fucking amazing, Noel. Sam? I think you were going to say something.
I liked it.
Sorry, Noel's gonna
he's gonna beat me up.
You
he said he was gonna shoot. He's got a fucking Glock behind there. He's ready. He's got it. Anyways, my number 7 is, and by the way, before I say from here on, I think these could all be my number 1. I'm just letting you guys know.
Okay.
My number 7 is 12 Years a Slave, released in 2013.
Right.
A great comedy, as Uble said.
I never said that. Whoa, chill,
That's
dude.
what you said.
That's fucked up, Sam.
Go back to our top 10 of 2022, and he blurts that out.
I don't think I ever said that. Okay, so
maybe Tori, you're probably watching this. You know, he's the one who actually told me. I didn't notice it at the time, and he told me. Did you hear?
Tori's a goddamn liar. Go for it.
Anyways,
hi Tori.
Anyways, speaking of movies that destroy you, this is another one of those that just destroys you. I mean, yes, it's a hard movie to watch, yes, but it is just it's beautiful, and I don't know how else to explain it in the sense of like. The story that it's telling, the bravery, the sadness, the tragedy, it's all just it's a really hard fucking breaking story, but I don't want to give anything away. I mean, it's history. It's not a fictitious story. This is a true story based on a true story, but it's just one of those movies that you come out of it, at least for me, and I just felt like I just went through a lot, man, and I need to take a moment. I need to sit down and just think about what I just watched and think about my life, what it means.
Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt actually produced this movie. What? Directed by Steve McQueen. This won Best Picture, by the way, and then. I just love this movie. It's got great dialogue, by the way. It's some of the best dialogue I've heard in films. Paul Dano is also in it. He has a small role in it. Fassbender is in it.
It's
a great Great movie. And Lupita Nyong'o, this is the one that she won her Oscar for supporting actress. And this, she's fucking great in this. Just also very tragic. The whole movie is tragic, but it's just like Schindler's List. It's not a movie that you're gonna be in there like, oh, I'm gonna have a great time, but you're gonna love it because of how powerful the movie is. And yeah.
I trust me, man. I really want to watch it, but it's so tough with our producer.
No, I was gonna be like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. My number 6 is also probably not gonna be on Sam's list.
Men in Black 2.
The Men in Black.
Oh no, the one that they just remade. Men in
International.
Black. Yeah, whatever the fuck.
I mean, it wasn't a remake.
It's
a spinoff. Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that was it.
Well, no, man, I'm not a sucker for Men in Black movies. Period. Number 2 sucked. Anyway, my number 6 is it was a movie that closed off a fucking decade long, maybe even more, a 2-decade long series, which is Harry Potter Deathly Hallows 2. It's the conclusion to all of it. Say what you will about.
I'm just glad you didn't put all the fucking Harry Potter movies in this spot. Like you did with the Lord of the Rings.
The first
shit.
one and the second one that's the thing about this whole series is that it kind of progresses with the reader who was there when the books came out and they were at that age. Because if you were at that same age, then you were aging as these movies, as the character Harry Potter was aging. So as a child, I probably would have said, yeah, part 1 and part 2 fucking rock, the Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, number 2. Yeah.
Oh.
The third one is Prisoner of Azkaban, and then it's Goblet of Fire, and then it's the...
No, you should know this. Your
and
girlfriend's like a super fan, right?
But yeah, no, this one, man. This the way it all wraps up and the ultimate battle between Voldemort and Harry Potter and man, I read the books and I watched the movies and I fucking totally dig this because it was that closing of the whole series, the whole chapter, and the fact that you had 3 child actors who were huge in pop culture because they were the 3 that they were and they didn't end up fucking going the traditional child actor, druggie or alcoholic or arrested or fucking nude film, fiasco. The 3 of them ended up turning out all right, stable minded. I think out of all of the actors that came out in these series, I think the actor that played Boyle, one of the bullies, ended up getting into trouble only because he participated in some of the looting in the UK. I don't know a lot about this. I don't know why. But the fact that the entire cast of kid actors, none of them ended up like fucking, we got to recast. Or we gotta fucking write them off like that. That enough was enough. And Alan Rickman as fucking Snape. Oh man, dude, that performance and his whole story arc. His whole story arc of being a fucking double agent. He was a double agent for Dumbledore.
Yeah, man.
Pretending to be evil.
Best red herring in the history of cinema.
Jesus,
you guys just totally spoiled it for me.
I don't give a shit. If you haven't seen this movie, then you're wrong.
I've only seen the first 2, and I gave up on it.
Oh God, that's the problem. You saw the first 2 that were intended for kids.
Yeah, if I don't like the first 2 movies, I'm not gonna keep watching it.
What if people only watch 2 episodes of Morons?
That's fine. If they didn't like it, then I understand why they wouldn't want to keep watching. It makes sense.
They were right to quit.
It's
Good
not like
for you.
It's not like I watched the first
on everything now.
Again, if they didn't like it, why would they continue? It makes sense
because it got better apparently later on.
That's fine, and maybe they can. Someone can tell them that. And maybe they'll give it a chance, and maybe I might.
Would you want them to? Would you want them to have a second chance?
Would I want them? Would I want Morons make sense to have a second chance?
No, the people who gave up on it.
This is getting way off hand.
Yeah,
you
sure.
have
exactly.
Fucking, but that doesn't mean that they're not reasonable to quit on it if they didn't like it. It makes sense.
What's the actor that plays Commissioner Gordon's name? I'm trying to blank.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. You have him in this fucking
or
movie,
Jeffrey
man.
Wright, who's
this whole fucking cast is.
Yeah, it's a great cast.
Sirius Blue, Sirius
Black. You gotta
Black.
fucking watch it. Sirius Blue, Sirius Gray. Right. Anyway, that was my number 6.
My number 6 is a film that's just so fucking awesome. That's 2015's Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh yeah, man.
This
Honorable
film is a spectacle. Like, I mean, it's written around a chase Like
That's all it is. It's just a fucking
and
chase.
it's awesome,
chase,
and it's
man.
done so well, and there's actually so much like soul given to its characters. There's people that you're rooting for. There's people that you want to see just obliterated. Charlize Theron was unexpectedly more of the lead than Tom Hardy, Mad Max was, but they both did such an amazing job. And it's such a I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Oh.
Well, while
That's how
he's
intense this
sneezing,
movie is.
while he's sneezing,
I'm back. No, yeah, I remember needing to pee when watching this in theaters, but I didn't because
Oh shit!
it was just so awesome. And I remember
Shows
just kicking the
soul
chair in front of me.
do you
while
like this movie too?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
this
enjoyed
movie's
it.
fucking awesome.
You
man.
didn't?
It was okay.
No,
It's-
fuck
no,
you.
man.
This is
I-
really
yeah,
awesome.
fuck you.
It has an
No, man.
8.1.
I know.
Yes,
I know.
Sam. Look at
I
the-
know.
Were
It's-
the critics wrong?
This is where I disagree with the critic. I don't understand. I'm not saying this movie's bad. I thought it was fine, whatever. But there were points where like, God, this movie's kind of ridiculous. Like I just didn't buy it.
Well,
I didn't
yeah,
buy it.
that's how it's established itself, though. It from the get-go, it's
No,
ridiculous.
It doesn't really establish itself as ridiculous from the get go. And then
Dude, really?
at the
when
beginning,
everything
you're like,
starts, all the cars, all the nipple clamps, all the fucking guitar with all the amps
that's
and
not
the fire.
the beginning. That's not the beginning. That's
like
happens
within the
afterwards.
first half an hour of the movie, Sam.
And that when it's
If
not
you-
at the
if you-
beginning.
Well, I
Mad
can't really
Max
buy. This isn't
chasing
realistic,
away-
guys. There shouldn't be fire coming out of his guitar.
No. It's not about the realism. It's not about the realism. It's about like the point. It crosses the line of ridiculousness at certain points, and you're just like,
Of
like,
course,
it's
look
not.
at this
It's
movie.
not like it's. I don't know. Yeah, I know a lot of people love it. I get it. I just find it
Because
a little
we're in the right.
overrated. A little overrated in my opinion. However, I don't think it's bad. I just because I would have given this like a B or something. It's just like, but.
Wait, but don't you think Dumb and Dumber has ridiculous parts?
But the movie is
Oh
called
my
Dumb and Dumber.
This is Fury Road.
Have you
Sam.
seen the other Mad Max movies? I mean, it's different. I mean, this takes it to a whole other level.
You're just a cunt.
Oh shit!
You know what, Sam? Fuck you
Why
and
am I a
have a lovely
cunt?
day.
All I'm saying
you
is,
and have a lovely day.
all I'm saying is just it's people
You're right to-
praise
you're-
this
you're
movie
fine to
so
say
much,
that. You're fine
and
to
I'm
say
just
that,
like, it's
Sam.
okay. It's
Yeah,
it's
you're
not.
fine.
It's okay to be wrong, Sam. It's okay.
I wouldn't go that far. It's subjective. I mean, if Sam didn't feel too strongly
I'm
about
not
it,
saying
that's
it's
fine.
terrible. I'm
Yeah,
not
I know
gonna-
you're
Hey,
not.
You know
that's
what
just
is
your-
terrible
that's
is
just your
Men in
opinion,
Black
man.
fucking 3. That's what's fucking terrible. And Godzilla and Rookie of the Year and fucking Giants.
I'm allowed to have a guilty pleasure here and there.
I'm fine with this being on your list.
Yeah.
I think it's a fine pick. Whatever. It's
I will
decent.
Say, I
at
will
least.
say for me, once a movie takes place in like a fucking post-apocalyptic, like a water world type thing, where it's like the year is 3542, I immediately let go of any type of like, oh, that's far-fetched.
You don't know what year it is.
Oh, please, like.
You don't know.
Obviously, it's not fucking 2040, fucker.
They're still using gasoline
goddamn
for
it.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, gasoline will continue that.
That opening scene was good though.
The opening scene is good.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's what the opening scene is good, and then you get into the chase. The chase happens later on. I mean, there's a whole setup part here.
What's the time, producer?
I'm sorry, I wanted to participate.
You
in
son of
this
a
one.
Oh, this
bitch.
one was-
You're fucking.
You can't be biased.
You've grown crazy with power, man. You
Go ahead,
control the
Sam.
time now.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Sam. You're 6.
All right. Here we go. My number 6 is Ex Machina,
Oh.
2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Alex Garland, directed by Alex Garland, starring Alicia Vikander and Oscar Isaac, who went on to be, very famous. Very famous. This was before he hit it big with his Star Wars and all the other stuff. But and also another actor whose name escapes me right now, something Gleason or something like that.
Oh,
But,
yeah, he was in.
He's in also
Harry
in Star
Potter.
Wars.
Yeah, that's right. He's also a
also
star.
in
Yeah,
Star
yeah,
Wars.
yeah. Anyways, yes, this is a great fucking movie about AI. And it's really a series of conversations between this guy who gets Oscar Isaac plays a genius who has invented AI, not invented, but has created a cyborg of sorts with AI that he thinks is close to basically emulating human emotions and everything like that. So he picks this guy played by the Gleason character, who was the first name I still can't remember, to come over and basically test her to see if he can tell the difference between whether if there's any difference between her AI and everything like that. And that's it. That's the premise of the movie, and it's a series of conversations, and it's fucking great. It's just you're just in it from the beginning, and every conversation is just philosophical. There's so many things of not just about AI and artificial intelligence, but also about identity, what makes one human, what also about like the power of trying to play God, the hubris of humanity of trying to play God. There's things going on there as well. There's it's just a fucking incredibly thought-provoking movie that I recommend to anybody who loves philosophical, thought-provoking films. You just sit there, and when you're out of it, you start having a conversation with yourself if you're on your own, or with the other person you're watching with it, because it's thought-provoking. You just start thinking about it and everything that they talk about and the human condition, all that stuff. Yeah. Love it. Recommend it to anybody. Have you guys seen it?
Absolutely.
You've seen it?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Was it in your honorable? No,
it's not on my honorable mention. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not on my top 10. It's my honorable mentions. Okay. But yeah, no, everything about what you just said, I absolutely agree with. And yes, I watched it, I think, by myself. So I didn't have someone to like fucking pause it or in the middle of the movie be like,
you don't want to pause to watch obviously the movie and talk about it afterwards.
But to be able to talk about it afterwards, I didn't have that immediate option. So
okay,
that would have been fucking awesome. But yeah, I've seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, write it down.
It's on my list forever, and I've only heard good
wrap
things.
it up.
I like it.
Very nice.
All right. Number 5.
Wait, is it my turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's my turn.
Oh, whoops.
I thought I was like, where are you going first?
Last one talking. That's
so
sorry.
my number 5 is also another closure to a series of movies that I watched growing up. Nope. I don't think it's what you think it is, but for me, it's Toy Story 3, which I guess wasn't the closure because there's 4.
Yeah.
At the time it was.
But at the time it was.
It was
and
good
even
closure,
now,
though.
I still consider it the closure of
that chapter,
I see
that
4
saga.
I see 4 as the start of a new chapter, if you will. Mm-hmm. But that 3 was for me
the Andy saga.
Yes, the Andy saga is I think
the Andy trilogy.
I love it. Yeah,
let's not use saga.
It's the Andy trilogy. The ending of the Andy trilogy. Definitely fucking connected with it. I mean, I grew up with Toy Story. I was a little bit older when it came out, but it's still enough to where I remembered very recently what it was to play with toys and use your imagination and to see now Andy going off to college and the toys not being played with and they're looking for something new. They're looking for purpose.
Yeah.
And at that age, and you were just like, oh fuck. And then Woody, his loyalty. And Andy's decision at the end of the movie, and that one scene where I'm sure everybody has fucking talked about
guts everyone every time,
where they just accept their fate.
No, that's not the scene.
There's 2. That and the one.
The
you're
last
thinking
one,
of.
yeah, the last one at the end where at the end
where he plays with them for the last time.
I vividly remember my theater like scared sobbing during the fire scene,
and then
where it looked like they're all gonna die,
sobbing at
and
the
then
end.
it was like a stream of sobbing.
Yeah,
that's what
the fire
for me.
scene. You know they're not gonna die. It's a Pixar movie. You know they're gonna get out somehow.
Sam, some of us were invested.
No, but still,
Come on,
I have a response.
The last scene is the real heartbreaker, but
no, that's true.
There was still that. Of course, there was still in the back of my head that voice telling me, fucking stop. They're going to get saved. Mm-hmm. They're not going to kill off all the characters at the same time in this fiery hell. Yeah. It's still a kid's movie, but still
But they do a good job of making you feel like it might happen.
They held hands.
It was that part. It was that part. It was seeing a group of toys or people, if you will, that kind of accepted their fate. Friends. Family that saw the inevitable and even though we knew it wasn't going to end, for those characters it was going to end, and they came to terms with it. They came to peace with it. They looked at each other. They held hands. There was this unspoken like, well, fuck, at least we're going out together. Like that shit was what got me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew they were going to fucking be saved, but still to see them come to that conclusion of like, well, fuck it, man. This is how we're going to die. At least we're doing it together. Let's just take it, accept it, hold hands, There's a knot in my throat right now. I'm trying desperately not to took off and do one of these. But that's my number. Whatever fucking number we're on.
5.
Fantastic.
That's my number 5.
That's good, man. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. When you said family, I had to fight the urge to say a Fast and Furious joke.
Oh,
I mean, that's basically what I was doing.
All right, my number 5, right? That's where we're on right
5.
now?
Yeah, you're number 5.
Yes, is a film I'm not sure if either of you have seen.
I've seen her, but
And that is 2015's The Guest.
Oh, this was that one you brought up that apparently I should have seen, even though it's incredibly obscure.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome.
what is it?
I love this movie. So this is directed by Adam Wingard and starring Dan Stevens. So this movie takes place today.
Today?
Today, yes, it does. Well, I mean, present time.
Oh, okay.
And it is
2014, apparently.
It's a modern thriller. However, it's written like an 80s horror movie. And in just terms of its cinematography, its soundtrack, the feeling and the tension in the air, the whether or not you trust your main character, and he's your protagonist technically. So the way that kind of unfolds, and there's so much mystery, so much intrigue about his character and whether or not he's completely honest about where he's saying he's coming from, and just the way he weaves into his people's lives. And it all takes place during Halloween, which makes it one of my Halloween go-to watches every single year. There's this epic Halloween party that happens just with this such a great Halloween vibe. The main character is such a badass and forever one of my man crushes within one of my circles of friends. Yeah, he's gorgeous. Within my circle of friends that are all like horror movie fans, like he is the top of our list. I mean, this movie is the top of our list. No, him too. But it's so fucking badass. It's a film that I would love for all of us to watch. And again, you don't really trust what's happening, but yet you're still rooting for certain things to happen. And then just the way everything kind of unveils, it's just fucking incredibly awesome. We've all been dying for a sequel, and this movie is just really high up there for me.
Is it gory? Is it like slasher gory, or is it more psychological?
More psychological.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more unnerving. There is some bloodiness at some points.
Okay.
But nothing where it's like, there's blood squirting every. It's not a nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah.
All right.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
What's this actor's name?
Dan Stevens.
Did you ever see Legion?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, is that him?
Fuck, that's him.
Yeah,
That's him.
that's
Yeah.
him.
David
Why
Holler.
did you say that?
Yeah.
Why
Oh
did you say
fuck.
that?
I
Dude,
love that you said
that
that.
show
Yeah.
was so
It's
amazing.
so fucking
was.
good.
You never
Nobody
watched
talks
Legion?
about it.
It's
No.
just
It doesn't,
weirdly-
right?
Yeah.
Nobody talks
Nobody
about
talks
it.
It did well, but just no one
fucking
talks about it.
weird.
It's so fucking amazing.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, move on.
One of the
Wrap it up.
best
Move on.
TV shows.
Yeah.
I
Season
control-
1 in
Wrap it up,
particular.
Noel.
I control the
Wrap it up,
time.
Noel. Wrap it up.
Our
drunk with
producer
power.
has the power.
He's drunk
Yeah.
with power.
No. It's so
Sam,
fucking
you
good.
never watched Legion?
You would like. I think you would like it.
On FX?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
you would like it.
sci-fi.
Dude.
It's a science fiction horror, psychological
You wanna
thriller.
give him
Like
that spoil of who the character is in the comic verse.
maybe, but I don't
He
know.
doesn't want. He doesn't know comic-
I'll say it shortly, like without giving you too much. So you have a main character who has thought he's schizophrenic his whole life,
We're wasting time. We'll do it
and then you
after.
find out he's actually a mutant.
Okay.
So he's actually psychic. So he's
Okay.
not schizophrenic. But as it develops, you realize he's also
It has to
schizophrenic.
do with how he was raised.
On top
and
of
Wait, you
everything.
just
why
gave
he was
away.
raised.
Is
No,
that-
but it
is that up
plays
at the
really well.
beginning?
Yeah. There's so much
There's
more.
more to it.
I'm giving you like the
Yeah.
bare, like the iceberg.
Okay.
But yeah.
What's your faces in it?
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza.
I attended a convention,
Plaza.
a panel that they were at, and it was incredible. I got free hats, and I
Okay.
have a lunchbox that I will shed the picture of
Dude,
me
you
with the
should
hat
watch this
holding
show,
the
Sam.
lunchbox.
All right.
Really
So,
good.
okay, go on.
Come on, Noel.
Number-
Producer.
Oh,
Come
I
on.
All right,
write
let's
these
go.
things down
Let's
that I
go.
can send Noel later.
Number 5 for
All right, my
Isam.
number 5 is Interstellar. Interstellar, directed by
okay.
Christopher Nolan. Excuse me. Yeah. Yes, Interstellar. This movie is just another one of these movies that you're just like, what the fuck? It's it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. I'm sure that you
Yeah.
will love it right away.
Yep.
Earth.
Space.
We've destroyed our Earth to the point where all the crops are dying off, and the corn is the only crop that still grows. and somebody figures out, we gotta find another fucking Earth soon, or else we're all gonna die.
And that somebody figures out. They've already figured it out. They just bring them into this.
Well, they haven't figured it out though.
Well,
they have an idea.
Looking for it.
Well, I don't want to give away too much about everything like that, but they go out to find another planet where that's habitable, that they can start a new colony of humans and whatnot. And that's the premise of the movie, but the movie is fucking complete, mind fuck as you get into it, and there's so much going on in terms of the physics that it's trying to explain, and like there's time travel. Have you seen this fucking movie?
Are you fucking kidding me? Of course I've seen this movie.
Okay,
I'll just say
this is one of those movies that I was thinking of when I said that
this
I
was
can
George
think
Clooney, right?
of
Sandra
many.
Bullock? Is this that one with Sandra Bullock?
This is one of those movies I was thinking of other time travel movies that are way better than Men in Black. The other one was Looper, which was in my honorable mentions. But fucking fantastic. This is like another peak Christopher Nolan. I mean, it's just the cinematography, the score, the visual effects, the performance. Everything is fucking awesome. And the ending is a complete mindfuck. Again, it's just, you're just like... You're trying to grasp it as it's happening, and when you start to realize what's happening, you're like, holy shit! And it's awesome, fucking awesome movie. I love it. Yep. I love it. I think it's this generation's 2001: Space Odyssey. I know that gets thrown around sometimes, but I really think this is more like that kind of movie.
Did you guys get that whole thing where like in that one planet? And like the clicking, it's like every 7 years due to time dilation.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, I didn't get it the first time I watched it, but then I watched an interview of Nolan. He's talks about that, and
that's sick.
Yeah.
I'll show it the director's commentary on. Okay.
Anyways,
number 4.
Yep, number 4.
C.
So number 4 for me is a movie that we've already talked about today, but I still want to talk about it more, and that's Inception. So this fucking movie, man.
Another Christopher Nolan.
It's still fucks with me to the day because of that whole like, is it dreaming?
Oh yeah.
Are you in someone else's dream? Are you gonna wake up soon? How do you know if you're not in a dream? Like all of that, I just really enjoyed about this movie. The fact that it's not a rehash of this idea that's been done over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge way of gaining maybe just 7 points off the back, which is if you can present to me an idea that isn't either like a rehash or a new adaptation of this. Oh, it's Romeo and Juliet. What the fuck was that? Oh, you're playing the trailer.
You're playing trailer.
Sorry, you didn't hear it, but we heard it. So any movie that is an original idea is, for me, like already, it gives it a lot of points. And I had not seen this before in the past, which is the idea of like, there's a machine that you can hook up to and you can go into someone else's dream. And then if you're in that dream and you do the same thing with the machine, then you go into a different person's dream inside of that
Levels
dream.
Of dreams.
And just like when you're dreaming, and this is something that's huge for me because when I have these very vivid dreams, like I think a lot about them. And I'm sure a lot of people out there do the same, which is you wake up and there's that like for like 5 seconds, you remember it clearly. And if you get distracted for even 2 seconds, that entire dream is just fucking gone. You're like, wait, what the fuck was it again?
Or it's even trippier when you can go back to it.
Yes, and that's even that. So just the whole concept of dreams, why does your brain do it? What does it mean? Is there any fucking fact or truth, or is it a different life, or is it possible to look into someone else? There's no way of fucking knowing that. I've dreamt shit where I wake up and I'm just like, what the fuck? How did my brain create that when there was never anything like that exposed to me in the waking world? So either my brain is just functioning on its own when I'm asleep, like, this guy's asleep. Let's turn it off autopilot and let's just fucking go crazy. Let's throw a fucking rabbit with a tuxedo in there. Fuck it. He doesn't know. You know, shit like that always kind of gets to me. So for a movie that has the whole thing to do with dreams and then how he visualizes it, like you said, Arturo, with the fucking shit spinning and the slow motion, and then
Things
the people
molding.
just everything about this fucking movie, and then the fact that it ends with that, like, is he still dreaming or is he not? Because he spent this thing and you didn't get to see it.
There's like
Start
multiple.
maybe seeing it, but yeah,
there's
a lot of
multiple
theories.
interpretations.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard about the interpretation that it's actually representative of different parts of making a movie. And the Elliot Page is like the production designer, I believe, or something like that. And Leo is like the script writer, and then the one is like there's a whole interpretation that
I
way.
wouldn't put it past. It's Christopher Nolan, so
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that was Christopher Nolan's intent, but that's an interpretation that's out there.
Cillian Murphy's in it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, great cast.
That's cool.
Tom Hardy.
Great, such
Yeah.
a great
All right,
ensemble
go.
cast. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's style actually really spoke to me in that film.
Heard.
Yeah.
Same. Me too.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Go ahead.
That's what's up.
Go for it.
Number 4 is a film that I keep feeling like you're alluding to this, but I don't know if it's on your list. But it was the end of an era for sure during this time frame. It was a cumulative film. It was an event film. And that is 2014's X-Men: Days of Future Past.
I took that. Look, it was on my list. I bumped it off. No, I kid you not. Minutes before we started recording, I bumped it off.
Yeesh.
And I'm not gonna say where it was on my list, but I made a last minute decision.
I'm disappointed.
But absolutely, this movie,
Yeah.
Sam, you fucking laugh, and that's fine. You
No, I thought he was gonna say something else. That's why.
okay.
Oh.
Everybody,
But yeah, this movie,
Yes,
man.
that's what I
Back
thought.
to this movie.
yeah.
So, I mean, what the fuck, man? Okay, so you had this, like, okay, when this was first
The
announced,
intro.
because everything about this movie, man, just the conception of it, because at the time we had the 3 X-Men movies, and then you had Origins Wolverine, but then, you had this, quasi reboot, but really prequel.
It's a hot
of X-Men
mess.
First Class.
It's a hot mess.
And that was really well
Yeah.
received. And then when they announced Days of Future Past, I immediately thought to myself, holy shit, because in the comic book version, you have the present and then they do the future.
Yeah.
I'm like, are they going to make it to where the current cast is the future and then the past cast is the present? And then I lost my mind just thinking the possibility, and then it did.
Yep.
It brought together these two worlds within the same world, and you had these actors meeting the young versions. And I mean, the fact that you once cast Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen as Magneto and Professor Xavier, and then you struck gold again with James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, and then had him in one single movie, and then you have Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, and then it's just this epic story of this going back and forth, and the opening that you mentioned, and we're in the distant future, and there's Sentinels brutally murdering everybody, but it's also this great showcase of all their powers and all their abilities, and then just the story that we get as we keep going. And this movie, man, and it's such a great comic book movie. It's a great film overall. With some powerful performances, and then the whole with James and Patrick facing themselves and be like, "I don't want your future," and talking to his past self. Peter Dinklage was such a great villain in this.
Yeah, he was.
Such a great villain, and just getting so much history interwoven. I've always loved this about the past X-Men. I mean, the back half of the prequels of the X-Men movies, where they're set in historical times, but they're also explaining things, but also twisting things as they go, like the curving of the bullet,
JFK,
and like just stuff like that. I fucking love this movie so much, man.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I feel like Noel has something to say.
No, just watching Sam drink his beer.
Sam's
What a dick.
blood. He's biting his tongue so hard right now that there's blood
This is
gushing.
one of the best time travel movies of all
out of these
time. One of the
movies.
best historical period
Another better
films of
time
all
travel movie than
time.
Men in Black 3.
All right,
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
go
This
ahead,
one
Sam.
could have interchanged with Men in Black 3.
All right, my
Both are
number
the same.
4. No, Noel's saying to move on.
Go on.
My number
pick a
4
foreign
is
film.
Ooh.
Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street.
Gay.
That's on my honorable mentions.
Gay? How dare you?
Yeah, how is this movie gay? That makes no sense.
Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. But
No,
just,
not at all.
No, I love
Wait,
it.
first off, why are you still using that?
What?
Anyways,
do?
anyways,
What
that's hey, The Wolf of Wall Street, Martin Scorsese. I just have to say that how great of a director and filmmaker Scorsese is. For these in this trilogy of my top 10s, there's been a Scorsese movie in every one of my top 10s.
has.
And
Deservedly so.
And I think so. And Noel, I don't know what he's saying. I don't know how you have you fucking seen the
I
Wolf?
love this movie.
Then why the fuck are you making these noises like this is a bad
Martin
picture?
Scorsese this, Martin
Well, then because he makes great movies. He makes The Departed, which you love apparently, and The Wolf of Wall Street. Maybe this is like a defense mechanism for Noel because he can't show emotion of what he loves.
2010s? Oh, right.
Yeah.
So,
2013.
Ah, damn it.
That's
The
why it was-
Departed? No, that was in our last episode.
No, Departed was last episode.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, this movie was
Oh,
from
It was
2013.
2010s.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
Departed was the
Also
zeros.
Fernandez.
The zeros.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Anyways, just want to say, great fucking movie,
You had The
hilarious.
Departed on your list too.
Yeah, you did, you fool. You don't remember?
Sure I do. Of
This
course.
is the drugs, my friend. The drugs. Anyways, you're,
Do you guys still remember your first theater experience with this movie?
I'm trying to talk about the goddamn movie here. Leo DiCaprio,
Yes.
Jonah Hill, just great performances. Fucking hilarious movie, by the way. Lots of debauchery. Oh, Margot Robbie's fucking. It wasn't her debut. She did other movies before, but this was the one that made her famous. And I think what made everyone fall in love with her. I mean, she's fucking sexy in this movie. I mean, yeah, the fucking movie is just great. It's a ride from beginning to end. When it ends, you're just like, God damn, I had a great fucking time in that movie. And yeah, and there's more to this. There's some depth in this. I know.
No, this is a really
I know.
fun
I'm mostly
movie, man.
talking about how entertaining and funny it is because it is fucking entertaining and funny. But
Quaaludes.
there's a lot going
Yeah.
on. There's a lot going on here about capitalism and Wall Street and the lack of accountability for these type of people who take advantage of the system and whatnot, which I'm sure Uble loved about that part. But anyways, that's it. I'll move it. I'll leave it for
You guys remember? I remember the opening scene and being like, "Yep, this is a movie I can never watch with my parents."
what?
Like the opening sequence.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
I mean, there's a whole part. The great part is the funny part is like when he's got the Quaaludes and he's trying to get back into his car,
Yeah, that was
and he
funny.
thinks that he made it all safe.
wild.
But then they like replay it back, and he's just like,
Yeah, I've never seen this movie. So
What?
Have you really?
What?
What?
I really
You
haven't.
haven't?
Are you
Holy
fucking
really haven't.
serious?
Damn.
Uber?
Missed
This
my
is a-
radar, man.
Get
I
the
know.
fuck
No,
out
this
of
is
here.
actually a really.
Hey.
It's on my honorable mentions.
Get
This
the
is a
fuck
really
out
good
of here.
fucking
fucking
movie.
watch
man.
it. Listen.
Yeah.
Like I said when we started this, I was going through the list and I realized how many great fucking movies I never got around to watching.
Damn.
This was one of those movies where
We'll add it
what
to
year
our
did it
list.
come out in?
2013.
2013.
2013. I can't remember for whatever reason why I didn't watch it when it came out.
Because you're a fool.
But I remember making a motive like, oh, I'll go back and watch this shit. I'll for sure go back and watch this.
It's Scorsese.
Never got-
How do you
I
not
know
fucking
this.
Watch Scorsese movies?
I fucking know this. I'm not. Listen, if someone's gonna punch me in the face for not watching this movie, it's gonna be me. All right, it's gonna be me because absolutely I should have watched it already. The cast, what I've heard. Thankfully, I don't have a lot of it spoiled to
Oh
where.
yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, see, I've seen that he's in this movie again. Gotta watch it. I will.
He's only in
absolutely-
it for a little bit.
We'll watch it
has a
before.
great role.
Yeah, he
before
shows
we
up just to
do.
steal DiCaprio's Oscar.
Before we do the episode with
Yeah.
the best movies of the 2020s, I'll make sure I watch this movie.
Okay.
Before we do the best movies of the 2020s.
You got 6 years.
I got 6 years.
7, I
So
well,
for,
I guess.
for me, my number 3. We're number 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
For me, my number 3
We're
is
1 hour in already. God damn it.
a Star Wars one, and I'll let you guess which.
Rogue
of-
One.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rogue
In-
One, man.
In my honorable
Same.
mentions.
It
Rogue
almost
One.
made my top 10.
Oh, I'm glad I'm the only one that included it then because I feel like if you're looking this in the objective point of view, this is probably the best of the Star Wars movies because objective.
Okay. Yeah.
Objectively, this is probably one of the best of the Star
well
Wars
made.
movies.
Comparatively well made.
Dialogue, story, acting, cinematography, score, what the movie brings to this universe.
story.
All of it, all of it, all of it.
Depression.
And just the fact that it comes from a quick snippet
Yeah.
from fucking A New
sense.
Hope, which is lots of rebels died getting us this
Yeah.
information. Here it is.
Boom.
And that's it. That's all it took to create this fucking prequel. And god damn it, is it a great fucking movie. I mean, visually,
great.
everything about
One
it.
can argue it's the best of the prequels.
100% it's the best of the prequels.
Yeah. With no argument there. Yeah, absolutely. So that's
Yeah,
That's my number 3, man.
this is the only Star Wars movie that to this day still like
strong.
made me emotional.
That scene,
Dude,
bro.
that Vader scene, bro.
Damn.
Fuck.
I'm not talking about the Vader scene.
Damn.
Why does everybody forget about all the goddamn deaths?
It doesn't matter.
Spoiler alert, spoiler
But
alert.
The Vader sequence, man.
Yeah.
Like it's funny. The whole movie, you're rooting for the rebels, and at this point, you're like, "Fucking kill all the rebels, take them down!" Like, oh, dude,
That show's tight.
That was brutal. My theater exploded.
When the spoiler alert again, when the droid dies, that to me fucking hurt me so bad.
Yeah.
And then the last scene between the two main characters as they're hugging and waiting for the inevitable.
Dude,
It's just fucking great, man. They haven't been able to fucking repeat the greatness of this. And
I remember thinking that. I always thought that Rey would end up being Rey Skywalker. I mean, Rey was a Kenobi. But then part of me also was hoping that she'd be the love child of Cassian Andor and Jyn Erso.
Why can't she just be an unknown? Why does it have to be a fucking daughter?
Hold on.
Hey,
how do you guys feel about Andor?
The top 3.
Do you watch Andor?
Andor?
I did watch it, yes.
Yeah.
Andor.
Andor
I felt
was
very
okay.
strong. No, fuck
No,
you, man.
Andor
You're
was
wrong
great.
about
That's
that.
cool.
I can't wait to watch season
it
1,
was
2,
good.
and end it
It
with
was
Rogue
good.
One.
It was
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm down for that.
Yes,
Yep.
move
I'm
on.
number 3.
Move on,
Arturo,
move on.
you're number
My
3.
number 3 is a film that means a lot to me as well. It is also an ending of an era, the ending of a character in particular. In my opinion, one of the best comic book movies ever made. It's a Western of anything, and that is 2017's Logan.
Oh, that came out in the 2010s. God
Yes.
damn it, man.
You clearly did not
My
make
research.
This
Really
was at the time Hugh Jackman's last performance as the Wolverine.
Now
And
he's ruined it.
well, he's coming back for Deadpool 3, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
But like this film, man, the tragicness of it, the brutality of it, the fact that Deadpool was able to do what it did and be insanely profitable. They were able to give the go-ahead for Logan to be rated R, and finally have Wolverine embrace that part of his nature that we really haven't gotten to see in the comic. I mean, on TV, on the screen. And just to have him, like, we just saw that scene real quick of when he let loose in those woods, man. Like in that berserker rage, right? That was just incredibly brutal. And then the film has just so much heart too, because he ends up in a very Mandalorian fashion, Last of Us, if you will,
with the little girl.
And just having to be this reluctant father figure, and then it just crushes your heart as the film goes on. It's also Sir Patrick Stewart's last time as Charles Xavier, and his role in this film was also something incredible.
It was supposed to be his last one, but then he redid it in.
Why do you say that it is a Western though? People sometimes describe it as a Western. It's not.
It felt very much like a neo-Western to me in the sense of like the fact that Johnny Cash played during the trailer. I mean,
Come on.
There was that one scene where they go to Arby's. Arby's has a sombrero as a logo. Therefore,
there's horses in the movie.
Western. Yeah.
I think part of it is just that
because there's sand. I mean, I don't know what
the desert aspect. I think maybe the hills and the wind.
I mean,
like,
the environment I guess is Western.
There's a black and white version.
I mean, look at that guy. Look, did you just see that guy with the hat?
He's wearing a poncho for
the
God's
poncho.
sake.
He's
Come on,
hiding his.
come on. That's everything. They're driving an old truck.
No, I like how they
He's
aged.
driving a limo at the beginning.
Yeah, no, I fucking love
Not
this
very
movie so
Western.
much,
Yep.
man. And
I definitely love this movie, man.
It's very heartfelt. Daphne Keane did an incredible job as X-23 too, to be so young and kick so much ass.
She did.
I
Yeah,
thought she
the
was
rage
really,
was very believable.
I think it was fucking awesome. And then Wolverine versus X-24 was holy shit.
Yeah,
seeing them
that's
go
true.
ahead
That
and
was
like
cool.
and
I
having
like that.
his biggest villain
This is
be a
Steven
dark
Merchant.
reflection of himself, is everything that he fears he could potentially be. That's who is fighting an actual physical form of that.
That's true.
And fuck.
No, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm with you. I'm down for Logan.
Cool.
It's all right. Yeah,
It was another Steven Merchant film.
Yeah, Steven Merchant, yeah.
All right, my number 3 is Quentin Tarantino's
Oh.
Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Honorable mention for me.
Again, Tarantino is in all 3
He don't
of
miss.
my fucking top 10 lists. All 3, yeah. He doesn't fucking miss, man. Yeah, he's great. What can I? Now this is a Western. Unlike Logan.
Because there's horses in there.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, it takes
There's also
place during
sombreros.
the West.
That too.
I see he's also wearing a poncho.
I mean, it's again, Tarantino just knows how to make fucking cool movies. And I love
Dialogue.
that this movie basically gives like the middle finger to slavery type of thing. I feel like that's what it is at the end. You get this sort of
glorious bastards of slavery.
Yeah, you get this sort of fantastical sort of middle finger to be like, fuck you, like, and just shooting all these white people. Spoiler alert, sorry. But I mean, this white people get shot in this movie. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
and Christoph Waltz, who won his second Oscar for this, he's just a magnificent actor. Leo DiCaprio again. Leo is in a lot of our lists in this fucking decade.
Right, yeah.
Even though he's been acting since the 90s.
He really came through on the 2010s.
And you know that one scene where he breaks the skull?
real.
It was real. That was his real blood, and he wiped it on the character, the actress. I forgot her name. Broomhilda was the character name. Man. Jamie Foxx, fantastic. I mean, the whole cast is fantastic. Leo's performance as Senor Candy or whatever his name was, he's fucking great in it. And Samuel Jackson is hilarious in it. And I know there's some great quotes in there. I can't say any of them because they all have the N-word in it. But
you want me to treat them like white folk? No, I didn't say that.
Yes, it's a fucking great fucking movie, cool movie. I love it.
How many N-words were in this movie?
I don't know. There's a lot. I think it was
over 200.
It's in the hundreds, like I said. And you know, interesting trivia here is that Will Smith, another one of his dumb decisions, turned down this role.
Oh, man.
And turned down this role because he thought it was going to be too offensive or whatever. Then Jamie Foxx took it up and made history. And, it's a great fucking movie. I love
110.
110, yeah, it was 110. Yeah, a lot of
2 hours. So that's roughly, do the math. I'm not gonna do the math.
Yeah.
A lot.
That was
At least 2
one
per hour.
N-word every minute and like 10 seconds.
Yeah. It got a lot of controversy because of that. Yeah, Spike Lee was very pissed off, but he's always pissed at everything.
That's what he does.
But Sam Jackson backs it, and if Sam Jackson and Jamie Foxx backs it, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
And
That was a good movie, man.
Great
I'm
movie.
all for it. All right, my number 2 is a movie that we've already talked about, and I'm gonna look at my list again because I already forgot about it. But that was the
Seriously,
Joker.
man?
I forgot about it. I haven't looked. It's the Joker.
Joker.
My number 2 was Joker.
Nice,
man.
nice.
And there's
Very
a lot of
nice.
reasons for it. Is because for me, any new take, any kind of like, oh man, imagine if it was with the Batman properties, I'm all for. Which is why whenever a new Batman property comes out or a side project on a Batman character, I'm always like, yeah, fuck it, man, bring it. I have my favorite Mr. Freeze, but I'd love to see what you can do with your Mr. Freeze in your
Who's your
movie.
favorite Mr. Freeze?
There's only one movie, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I used it as an example. I mentioned it because there's Arnold Schwarzenegger, then there's the animated one.
Yeah, well, the animated.
Well, there's also the one in Gotham.
There's also the one in the movie, the video game,
TV
the
show
video
Gotham.
game. And
Wait,
there's
do
a
we
TV
count the
show.
video? I thought we were talking about movies here.
I'm talking about any adaptation, not just movies. And that's
Okay.
the same thing with this, which is this is one that I hadn't seen done on the Joker and the whole Gotham universe. The fact that this is still a universe where Batman will eventually exist, I love just fucking imagining.
And the griminess of Gotham is great.
Yeah.
And it also, the good thing is that it takes place in like the early 80s or something.
Yeah.
So it has that grimy 80s feel to
Yeah.
it. Wonderful.
And the
60s.
Joker character himself.
No, it takes place in the 80s.
It takes place in the 80s.
I believe the actual
If
year is
anything,
1980
late
or something.
70s. If anything, late 70s, but it's definitely not 60s, man.
Yeah, no. It's I'm
Definitely
pretty
not
sure the
60s.
year is 1980 or something.
Look at that. Look at all the tagging on the subways.
Anyways, keep going. Keep going.
81.
There you go.
81.
See?
Yeah. No.
Where did the 60s from?
The take on the Joker himself, like that the fact that I don't know if this is the first Joker that has approached it with it's like a disease that he was born with, like
He has a complication, a condition.
a condition, right, where he can't stop from laughing. And I think I remember seeing before this came out where they interviewed actual people that have that disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And like they basically talk about how their life is fucking miserable and how they can't sustain a relationship and how it's just loneliness because no one is willing to spend time with you when you have this kind of a disorder where you and that just adds more to this character that is the Joker, which is the psyche that it would require to just fucking be unhinged like that and just fucking try your best to be part of a society, but you just can't because of something that you don't have control of. Yeah, that scene where he's dancing
in the bathroom. Yeah,
just
great.
all of it. All
and
of
the
it.
score in that one is fantastic.
And I'm fucking super excited.
And you know
for
that
part
there's a
2.
sequel.
Yes.
And Lady
With
Gaga.
fucking Lady Gaga.
As Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
And I hear it's going to be a musical.
It's going to be
Todd Phillips, man. You know, he's a great director. He was known for his comedies. He did Old School, Hangover. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But then now he's doing more dramatic stuff, and he's a great filmmaker.
Anyways, that's my number 2.
Yeah, no, I think everything that you said, I'm just going to continue that narrative because my number 2 is also the Joker.
It is?
Yeah.
Hey.
Wow.
Let's keep it going.
Very nice.
Joker.
All three of us got in this one.
Fuck, man, this movie, dude.
Wait, is this the first time that all three of us had
a movie in a top 3? Yes.
No, you guys had Rookie of the Year in your 90s one, no?
Wait, did we all have Jurassic Park in the 90s?
I did.
I think I did.
That was my number 1.
No, you didn't. You didn't mention it because you were all like.
Forrest Gump?
No, Jurassic Park was my number 1. But he had his number 7.
Jurassic Park 1. That was in the 90s one?
No, I think you kept like not saying it because we would say it or something.
That's true. For the 90s one, you would take away. You would take them away.
Because we're adding movies.
Well, fuck you. You're taking away from my time with the Joker.
Sorry.
So,
I mean, timer.
This movie is actually one of the most movies that is...
most movies.
Sorry. One of the movies I actually discussed the most with the people in the sense of just how much bigger this film was than just comic book movies. And I mean, it took it to... It did. It completely transcended. I've had so many in-depth conversations about this film and just Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal and what they decided to do with this character. There's so many incarnations of the Joker and so many have been done so well. And then for this film to come out and did what it did, it still managed to stand incredibly high, incredibly tall. And you took a character like the Joker who, you know, there's a lot of things that the Joker ends up doing that you can't defend, but yet this film does it in a way where
sympathy.
You complete sympathy for this character. It becomes this thing where you totally get where he's coming from. Again, doesn't excuse his actions later on, but you get why, and you feel sympathy for him. You empathize with his journey and his struggle and everything that happens to him. And having it, when we were talking about Gotham earlier, Gotham was an actual character in this movie. It really felt for me. Yeah. And the way they brought out everything to life and the people around you, and who hasn't felt like really fucking down one day, you know, and it feels like it just spoke to you in a certain kind of way. And this film was gritty. It was moving. The score. Yeah, man.
That reveal where you find out that he didn't actually have a relationship with
Spoiler alert. Hey,
oh, we're spoiling other films too.
Fuck that.
Really? We just have to say it in case there might be somebody watching who hadn't seen
it.
Yes,
I agree.
Like Ublester who didn't have a Wolf of Wall
No, Mo Blester.
Oh, Mo Blester.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
But yeah,
that's on him.
This film is something else, man.
Yeah,
100%
I'm with
something
you, man.
else.
That's why I had him on number 2.
That is the first time three of us have a movie in our top 10.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Joker. It's fucking. I think it's genius, and it's gonna be one of those classics. I think it already is.
Yep,
it is.
Yeah.
Number 2.
All right. My number 2 is a movie that's been talked about already. Toy Story 3. So I just want to reiterate, fuck you Pixar for making me cry god that much. But yeah, I as Uble said, I was a fan of Toy Story from the beginning. I wish I could have put the original Toy Story in my top 10 in the 90s, but it just had so many other movies. It's not that it's not good enough. It is good enough. I love all the movies are great. But Toy Story 3 I think is the best of the lot. And you guys have talked about some of the scenes, but I'm just going to talk about the final scene and what it means to me. And I think what's great about the series is that for those of us who started off in the first one, we grew up with it.
Yeah.
And we, at the same time that Andy was losing his innocence, we had already lost our innocence as well. So we understood that scene in a deeper level than I think for the kids who were watching it for the first time that day, right? Yeah. So yeah, that last scene where he plays with his toys for the last time with Bonnie, and they go around. I'm gonna start crying just thinking about it. And they're going, crying, man. And they're going around, and it reminded me so much of it really captures beautifully the loss of innocence that happens as you move from being a child to a teenager to an adult, and it's an inevitable thing, unfortunately, and when you realize what you've lost, it's something that you sort of miss, that you wish you had, that sort of innocence that you will never get back, because once the knowledge that you get from being an adult is good, but you can never let it go, and you'll never get it back. As much as we try, men are constantly accused of trying to live their childhood and whatnot, but I think it's women too. Everybody does it. Humans do it. They want to live. That innocence is what really we want to relive. It's that beauty of just like playing, and that's all that matters, is just you playing in that moment, nothing else. Nobody gives a shit about politics, who died where, or what's happening where, or whether Israel is fighting Palestine or whatever the fuck is going on in the world. Nothing matters except you and those toys and that moment. And that scene just captured everything about what it means to be a kid. I just love it. It ended the series great. I wish they wouldn't have made a Toy Story 4. I still think Toy Story 4 is a good movie, but this just ended the series so well. And I know they're going to make a 5 now, and I hope it's good, because I really think this is one of those franchises that hasn't missed yet, and I don't want it to have a bad one, and I love this movie. I mean, I love this one and WALL-E. My 2 favorite Pixar movies. Yeah,
nice. Hands down.
Love it. I feel sad now.
I'm sorry, man. So, my number 1 is a movie that it crossed off every fucking thing about, I think, who defines me, like who I am. All of anything that I see in a movie that's an automatic, like, yes, I'm in, was in this movie, and that movie is Interstellar.
Oh,
that fucking movie, man! I love your performance, Sam. God damn it, man!
No wonder you gave me that face.
Yeah, because
when I talked about,
that's why I didn't want to talk about it earlier, because this movie has everything. Look, it's post-apocalyptic. I'm fucking down. Space travel. I'm fucking down. Father-child relationship. I'm fucking down. Time travel / black holes /
time
exploring
dilation.
The universe. Time dilation.
Yeah.
I'm fucking down. I mean,
Tesseract.
Everything. The cast.
Flying fields.
Fucking has Casey Affleck. It has.
What are you adding different syllables or accents to people's names?
No, my emphasis is
Christopher
on the correct
Nolan.
syllable.
Is it Jessica
fucking
Chastain?
Christopher Nolan directed, and fucking Michael Caine. No,
Michael McConaughey.
I like the part where they go to the 3 different possible planets, and you have the one with Matt Damon on it, and it's like every fucking click is like 7 years in regular time.
You're mixing up the worlds. That's the water one where
that's
it's
the water one. That's where Matt Damon is in.
No, he's not in that one.
Yeah, they
Anne
rescued him from that one.
Hathaway.
No, Mate Damon is not in that water world. This is your number 1 movie. You don't
No,
remember
they
it?
rescued him from that one.
No, he's in another world. He's in another world.
That's right.
They
He's in
come.
other worlds.
Yeah,
Snowy,
it's
right?
more of a snow rocky
Snowy one. You're right. That's where they find them in. You're right. Anyway, everything about this fucking movie, and I know that's my number 1, and I don't remember the details all that great. That's just more on me. The fact that this movie exists and the fact that he's able to come back. So there's that scene where he's in his study and the fucking book falls off of the bookshelf, and you don't really know about it in the beginning of it, but then you find out that it's him after he goes into the black hole, which, by the way, the fucking visualization of a black hole in this movie, god damn it. I could watch that shit on repeat
Visual effects
without
fantastic.
having any fucking context or without knowing anything about the storyline, and just watching how they portray a fucking black hole visually it's just I'm in. I'm all fucking in.
Yeah, and this is a great rewatch too, because you're talking about. So I actually watched this movie twice in theaters, because the first time I watched it, I was like, I have to watch this again. I need to see everything all over again, because my mind is just too fucking blown.
Did you watch a regular screen or IMAX?
No, I did the IMAX.
The IMAX. Yeah. Dude, I watched it in IMAX. Fucking great, man. I know there's no way of you watching it in IMAX right now, but if you could, if it ever gets re-released, fucking do yourself a favor.
It's
Watch
great.
it in IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my
Awesome.
number 1. That's my number 1.
Go for it.
I don't give a shit. It has everything I need.
Go
Well,
ahead.
speaking of everything that you need, my number 1 was incredibly difficult to put together. Again, I had a really hard time with this list, and I realized there was only one clear option for number 1.
Power Rangers 3.
No, it was
Deadpool 2.
There is no 3. Deadpool 2 is 2018. Oh, actually, no. It would have
been in this one.
It is
but-
not that. It
No.
is actually, and Sam's going to hate me for this.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit. Transformers.
Godzilla.
Nope. Because it is technically one big story. One
You're not gonna
Infinity
do-
Saga,
tell me
if you will.
Ah.
It is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You can't do
okay.
that.
Yes.
No, that
The
doesn't
films
count.
starting from Iron Man.
bullshit.
I'm
Through
surprised Civil
Avengers
War by
Endgame.
itself wasn't on here.
That's the thing. So Civil War
Yeah.
came up, The Winter Soldier, which is my all-time favorite MCU film. But like, there's just this overwhelming,
Endgame.
huge narrative.
No.
The MCU changed the game for what became storytelling on the big screen, for
You could
better
say
or for
Endgame.
worse.
Wait,
Like-
say and put a
Endgame
First
came
of
out
all,
in this.
Iron Man started in the previous
Yeah,
decade.
2008.
So
Okay.
you can't fucking
Then
do
we'll,
that,
then
man.
we'll start at Avengers,
Yeah.
2012. Let's start there.
This is some
Or
bullshit.
we could even start at Iron Man 2 in 2010.
Fucking
But
cheaters.
still, I mean, look at the
Yeah.
storytelling that this took over this course of time.
I will say
And
it's something that's never
within
been done.
the Infinity Saga, it was all not everything interconnected, but there was things that always led without always just being a setup film either. And the performances throughout, the actors that exist that have become synonymous with their roles, Chris Evans as Captain America,
Yeah. I'm with
Robert
you,
Downey
man.
Jr. as Tony Stark, man, and then you've had people that just, I mean, come on, Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, dude.
If you look at this as a 28-hour-long movie, then you can
Yeah.
include it.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
28-hour-long movie.
Well,
I mean,
in that
Sebastian
case-
Stan,
With the
the Winter
Avengers.
Soldier,
the
Elizabeth
same thing,
Olsen,
Sam.
Scarlet Witch.
Do the same thing.
Like,
My
oh,
number
Scarlett
one is all
Johansson,
100
who is in a
movies
bunch of your movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it was the fucking decade of Scarlet.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, this whole thing is one big movie to me in a huge way, in a narrative that's spanned so many films.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cheat
I
for
will-
having it all as my number one, but
I'm glad you
I
included
had
it.
to, man.
I'm glad you included it, Arturo, because I will say, I can at least say that something like that will never again happen, and if it does, it won't have the same impact as this did, because to have a franchise where you have sort of a continuous story going for that long across that many movies, and to have that many movies in that franchise, in that story, be good. I'm not saying they were all great, and I'm not saying they were all bad. I'm just saying a lot of them were good
Consistently
and
decent.
watchable,
Yeah.
and
then some of them were just fucking amazing.
some of them were
Civil
great.
War, Winter
some
Soldier.
of them were meh, but the majority of them were like, yeah, that's never going to happen again. And if it does happen again, it's not going to have the same impact,
It's
because
not.
it's going to have the same impact.
Because
like, they're doing Marvel
it's already
again.
happened.
We're
Yeah,
already seeing it. It's not having the
exactly.
same impact.
So the fact that we were alive for this,
Yes.
that
Yes.
saga, and for that many movies, like that's not. I mean, our
when
kids are gonna
Avengers
experience
alone
it.
happened, and we had those films leading up to that, and
Yeah,
it's just
that was like, whoa,
excitement,
this is
like,
gonna be.
and
Sam
he's
agrees.
crying. He's
Sam agrees.
he's so emotional about it right now.
He's getting emotional.
When he
I know how
saw
much he
all the
loves comic
superheroes
book
in that
movies.
circle scene
Yeah.
with Cap and Iron Man, Thor, Hulk,
Yep.
Black Widow, Hawkeye,
First Avengers movie
I mean,
is like not.
and then
very
Loki.
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston, man, come on.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I accept it.
All these movies,
I accept it. 2/3 of
doesn't make
morons.
stuff.
Unacceptable. Okay,
Two-thirds
that's
of
a
the morons.
30-second deduction.
You're up.
Hey, you guys took like 28 minutes to do Interstellar, so fuck
I just
all
want
you.
to say, I did have some Marvel movies in my honorable
Oh,
mention.
nice. Guardians of the
Guardians of the Galaxy
Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
was
I
number
included that
41,
mine. I was gonna
which
include
I've
that
talked
mine.
about that I really like. But
Yeah, it
I
is
think
really good.
also Avengers Infinity War made it.
Oh fuck yeah!
Like,
man.
the
but
film-
not Endgame. Definitely not Endgame.
The films that I had on my
Yeah.
original top list were Infinity War, Civil War, Winter Soldier.
I had
those three for sure.
I had Civil War as my 101, so it
Oh,
didn't make my
nice.
top 100.
Oh,
but the
I
first
see. Yeah,
Avenger was 99.
I love Captain America: The First Avenger.
Infinity
That's
War
cool.
was
That's
90.
cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Okay,
that's cool.
okay. Yeah.
Cool story, bro.
My number one is a movie that is going to be the second movie that all three of us have, which is Christopher Nolan's Inception.
Nice.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, man.
yep.
So Christopher Nolan's the second movie in my top 10 of the 2010s. He's a fucking master. I mean, yeah. It's, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say from what you guys have already said, but it's just one of those movies that I can watch over and over again and still kind of like, it's still thought provoking every
Yeah.
single time. You know, you think about it, and I've seen like different interpretations of it. There's one, and spoiler alert for this, because there's one interpretation is that he's dreaming the whole time, and everything that you're seeing is all part of his dream. Like none of it is actually in reality. Even the parts where he's supposed to be in reality are still actually part of his dream.
Okay.
Which is the interpretation that I really, really love, because when you hear this interpretation, there's an actual video. There's like a professor who fucking did like a whole analyzes this movie. And when you listen to this talk, and I'm gonna a shout out to one of my coworkers, Alec Kuat. I'm sorry, I fucked up your last name.
Whoa,
Grodkowski. Yeah, Alec.
I've met him.
Alec. Yeah, he was at the Oscar party.
Yeah,
Alec. He was the one who told me you got to watch this video. He goes through the whole movie, explains it and everything like that. I watched that video, and yeah, man, that interpretation like really opened my eyes, and I rewatched the movie again, and holy shit, there's like all these hints.
Send me the link.
There's all these hints of like, yeah, you know what? Even there's that scene that it just cuts really weird, and I remember seeing it for the first time. I remember thinking this, where it like cut really kind of awkwardly to the scene where he's with Kim Watanabe's character, and all of a sudden he starts getting chased, and it's supposed to be in the real world. He starts getting chased by these people, and it's supposed
when he goes
to be
meet
Tom
Hardy, right?
I forget exactly Tom Hardy.
Morocco.
Yeah. He starts getting chased, and then he goes through this alleyway where it starts to get smaller and things like that.
Ken is the one that picks him up.
Yeah, and
pulls up to him.
Yeah,
like,
and a lot of weird things happen in that are sort of it, but it's supposed to be during the real world time.
Yeah,
right.
Because he's recruiting,
and it's really awkward the way it's cut and everything like that. And I remember thinking that when I first saw it, but I just like accepted, like, no, it's just that's the real world, and he's dreaming this. But then when you see this interpretation, you go back and rewatch it, like, holy shit, like maybe it is all a fucking dream.
Yeah.
And that I love movies that even after I've seen them like 10 times, I can still like think about them in new ways and stuff like that. And this is just one of those movies. And a lot of Nolan movies are like that, Memento and all these. And
it'd be really interesting to watch like a theory on it and then go into the movie with that theory, kind of like what you did, but then just keep doing it and just seeing how things change for you based on how it's interpreted.
Oh yeah, you start seeing all these. Like I said, then if there's another interpretation where every character is supposed to represent someone within the film industry, director, actor, and so on, that one's good too. I mean, it's great. Yeah, it's a great fucking movie. Yeah.
It's a stylish movie.
Yeah,
too.
this movie was on my list mainly because of the impact that it had on me. Granted, the cinematography, the storyline, all that shit's great. But the long lasting effect that it had on me personally, where you start thinking about like, when you do dream, time flows differently. You know, in your dream, it feels like it's been days or hours or years, and you wake up and it turns out you had that dream in a fucking 20-minute nap that you took at home.
So I completely agree on that. And the one thing that really did fuck me up after watching this movie and thinking about things, so I used to have this big habit of falling asleep to music. And then I would have this all of a sudden, like, so after some time would go by, and I would try to re-listen to the song, not while I was trying to go to sleep. And then the timing of the song had changed. And I couldn't for the life of me remember the version. It just felt so different. And then I realized it's because when you're falling asleep, all of a sudden your brain starts working at the same time different. So now you're interpreting the song differently, and it's moving at a different pace than what you are completely awake. And it's fucked up songs for me. And since then, I just fall asleep to the sounds of ocean sounds.
Oh, and with that, as always,
that was our list.
Noel, please. We should do some closing thoughts. I just want to say,
that was so abrupt.
This was we failed again. It's gonna be an hour and 40 minutes.
No, because we still have some time.
We still have 3 minutes, but let's take these 3 minutes to say it's been a great journey doing these top 10s with you guys.
I look forward to doing the 2020s.
We've relived.
I look forward to it.
We've relived our 30 years of our lives, basically.
I mean, I would still like to do a bonus 80s episode.
Well, maybe that'll be part 4. Maybe we'll do what Toy Story did. Yeah, a prequel. Oh, god damn it. Yeah.
We'll have to like go back and retcon a lot of what we talked about. We'll figure it out, though. We'll do a prequel episode.
Yeah, but this is great. And hopefully it's the start of a beautiful relationship.
Any honorable mentions?
Do we want to shout them out like we did in the last episode?
Yes,
as it fades to black?
Please Please don't.
Before we
Please
do,
don't.
have a dark night. Oh, have a dark night.
And
And
oh my God.
Birdman, Kick-Ass,
Okay,
Nocturnal
John
Animals,
Wick,
Speaking
The
of
Conjuring, Wolf
Looper,
on Wall
Her,
Street,
Prisoners,
Dread,
Gone Girl,
Spider-Man
Gotham's
Into the
closing
Spider-Verse,
up.
The
Whiplash.
Revenant,
Whiplash.
Abraham Lincoln,
La La Land.
Vampire
Whiplash.
Hunter,
Inside Out,
Tron
Green
Legacy,
Book, Midnight in
Social
Paris.
Network.
Magnificent
Social
Seven,
Network. That's
Scott
a good one.
Pilgrim
Destroy
versus the
the
Beautiful
World.
Boy, Big Short,
Upgrade.
Silver
Hot
Linings
Tub Time
Playbook.
Machine. Hot Tub Time Machine.